What's up, everybody? Bayboy Views here. So I want to talk to you guys about something I just saw on YouTube, and I went down this rabbit hole, and I just kept going with it, and it brought me to a pretty cool thing to know about. So yeah, how do I start this off? So I don't know if you guys seen what's going on in Temecula Valley School District, where Gavin Newsom is calling out the school districts for not wanting to teach kids about Harvey Milk and the social studies books that they are calling educational for little kids. So that in itself made me think, like, all right, well, let me go see what the school district was talking about. So I wasn't able to find the full video of the school district, what they were talking about, but I did get a snippet that was put on MSNBC or CNN, I don't remember which one, but it was basically saying that the president of the Temecula school district called Harvey Milk a pedophile. So I was like, oh shit, okay. So I'm guessing he was somebody that was inside that social studies book, and so I figured I'd check him out, right? Maybe it'd be juicy. So then I figured out, who is Harvey Milk. So Harvey Milk, for people that don't know, is a LGBT activist back in the 80s. So let me just break down the time frame, because right now we're in 2023. This is 1980s, 1970s. So basically, he was a pretty big activist in San Francisco for what is now known as the Castro District. So predominantly gay people there. So he had a book about him that was called, I believe it was The Mayor of Castro Street, or so they go on and talk about what he did in his life. So, you know, he started off conservative family back in, I believe, the 60s, 50s, 60s. And his dad, you know, was the type of person to disown him, you know, maybe beat the living shit out of him type shit. So at the time, you know, it was illegal to be gay. So I'd say that it was illegal to be gay. They would send gay people into like psych ward type thing, and they were performing, you know, the electric chair type thing. This is all documented. You can go ahead and do your own research. And they were also doing lobotomies on gay people. So you guys can see the extent that a normal person would go to not end up as one of those people. So, you know, probably drive a person crazy type thing. So I'm not, you know, excluding whatever he has done. So in the book, he was about 30 something years old. He had a lover that was 16 years old. He was twice his age plus a couple more years. At the time, I think he was like 35, 36. The guy was 15, 16. So, you know, he was a pedophile. We're going to call it what it is. And, you know, hearing about what he did, I believe he was a paper pusher at the time. All right. So he was assassinated, not for being gay, not for the whole gay movement or anything. He was just assassinated because the guy that he was replacing was salty about the whole thing. All right. So the mayor at the time, I believe, was George Moscone. Yeah, George Moscone. And at the time, there was this other guy named Dan White. So he was super conservative. he was super like old school, like, yeah, let's build a housing project to there's also like an hour of interview, 40-minute interview that he did back in 78, and it talks about what kind of plans he wanted to roll out if he got elected into office, or if he got chose to be in that seat. And it was like create a psych ward in Redwood City, and put all teens. They were going after teens. So this was like Ronald Reagan type thing, right? This is like the era of Ronald Reagan, all that shit. I might be misdating it, I'm sorry. But so basically what ended up happening is that, he started, so his accomplishments were getting the gay people to be out in the open, to get them jobs in their community, create this gay pride, movement. So I'll give him that. And he was shot in office, so I can see how, putting them in the textbooks wouldn't be the biggest thing. But if you're gonna teach them, you have to teach them the whole thing. And yeah, this fool was a pedophile. It's on paper, on record. It's all up in the book that they wrote about him. So yeah. But going on with that, it makes sense why the whole Temecula school district doesn't want to, teach this new curriculum. And so Gavin Newsom looked at this and he was just like, you know what, fuck it. The government's taking over now, and we're gonna do we're gonna shove everything in here, all these textbooks, and you're gonna have a $1.5 million fine for your whole school district. So your whole school district's fucked. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. It's hard to hear this, because if you really learn about, Harvey Milk, he was just a normal motherfucker, right? He just battled with this inner thing to want to be, gay. And I understand that, if you don't see Parachichis and, you're not turned on, then, you're probably playing for the other team. So in order to be using him as an ideologue for the youth and trying to create this movement. And so another thing that I was learning too is that why they were pushing the gay vote so much too was that because it was a good vote. You would have a huge number of people go out, and since they wanted that type of change, they would actually go out and vote. So they would be the gay vote was a really good vote at the time during Harvey Milk's days. So it was understandable why Dan White was getting replaced for Harvey Milk, and obviously Dan White didn't take it good and murdered both George Moscone and Harvey Milk at the same time. So it's the fucked up but funny thing I learned about Dan White. So he got off. He did prison time. All right, he did 6 years, 5 or 6 years. But the reason why he got off was because of a technicality that he was on Twinkies. Yes, the food, the non-perishable, and he did not have a clear state of mind. So let that be, whatever you need to know about the judicial system. And if you don't think that motherfucker's rigged, well, there you go. But he got 5 years, got out, and I think he committed suicide. So there's that. That's crazy. So back to Temecula. So Temecula is now facing a $1.5 million fine by the state of California for not pushing this these books, okay? And they've gone as far as to put a bill in place for parents that actually want to say something and take care of their kids, or express how they feel. At bare minimum, express how they feel about what the fuck they're teaching their kids. And if you don't know the bill is SB 596. So basically, if you even go up to a teacher and tell them how you feel about the situation, they can get you arrested and fined, bro. And you would not. So basically, they're disincentivizing parents going to these teacher events. I'm lost for words. But to the student council, the teacher council, and you ain't got nothing to say about it. We're gonna teach your kids exactly what we want them to learn, and that's what Gavin Newsom's pushing, you guys. So I'm pretty sure pretty soon he's going to be announcing that he's going for president. So if this is a big issue for you, I hope that you know that this, I'm letting you know right now, this is the information. You can go up and look at SB 596. You can go see what he's saying about the books that he wants to push. You can see for yourself about Harvey Milk. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying he was a pedophile. All right. I understand he did a lot of good for the LGBT community. I'm not coming after you. I'm just letting everybody know the truth. And that comes with hurting some people. But, it's got to be said. As far as how I feel about it, I think the parents are telling you, Gavin Newsom, that they don't want this. Let it go. If the parents of a whole school district is telling you take that shit off, then you take that shit off. You are not teaching their kids this shit. All right? And you can try to spin it however you want. You are a very intelligent person, and I can see that you've worked your way up from mayor to governor, and you got your eyes on the presidential seat. And you know what? Let the best man win. But this is out of pocket. You got all these parents telling you that they don't want their kids to learn this shit, and you're just gonna push it down their throat anyways? Well, welcome to China, bro. Anyways, so going on off that, I don't know if you guys have watched Pat Beck-David's podcast. So he just had Anthony Weiner on there. So if you don't know who this is, back in 2009, I believe, my bad, he was running for New York mayor, and as a Democratic nominee, and he came in second, so he wasn't able to do it. Twitter, he accidentally posted a dick pic on Twitter, and that shit goes viral, and then he eventually gets caught up for sending a dick pic to a minor. He gets convicted. So again, he's on this podcast. All right, this is a probably more than that, but he's got 5 million on his whole business right now as a valuetainment. And they're talking to this guy, and I can see that in their face that it's very disingenuous. This guy is acting as if they're attacking him. They kind of are. They're ganging up on him. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I wouldn't say ganging up on him. I think Patrick David had a certain amount of questions that he wanted to ask him, and just to get honest feedback, and also to get him to admit a couple things at the end. He starts talking about Hillary Clinton. But yeah, I recommend go check that out. But anyways, back to Anthony Weiner. So he gets caught up sending a 15-year-old a dick pic, goes to jail. He comes out. So he's on this podcast, and they talk to him about what he thinks is going on in California, about the books that they're trying to push onto little kids. And I've never seen the book personally, So what does a normal rational person do? They go on ChatGPT and ask them for the banned books, and I couldn't find anything. It kept telling me it's a very controversial topic. It kept telling me to go look at the school district or whatever and see what books are banned on their website. I was just like, you know what? I couldn't find it. He had one. He actually hyperlinks it into his video that he's showing for Anthony Weiner. And it's a book about kids showing, or it's about little boys giving blowjobs, basically. Basically, the whole. I'm guessing that it's an educational book about how it is to feel gay and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna get into it. It explicitly shows on the podcast, little boy, and he's giving BJ. So he didn't have much to say about it. He was trying to avoid the question the whole time. He was saying, like, why are we worried about something in a whole different state 3,000 miles away, because they're in Florida and it's California, and this is a book that Californians are pushing. So I would recommend, if you're a parent right now, you got a kid in public school, I recommend going and at least checking out the banned books that they got, and see if this book is on the curriculum for your child, because they were saying that the range was about 10 to 13 years old. So if you're in middle school, I recommend checking with your school district and seeing if this is all true, at least for you guys. So he starts avoiding the question. He's not real happy about that they're talking about it. And then they go and they ask the question to him. It was like, so if your kid was in school, and his kid is actually like 10 years old, and they started teaching him this, would you be happy about it? He was like, no, I would have to go to the parent-teacher conferences and freaking tell them to get this shit off the thing. So now we have it from another perspective, another pedophile telling you that, we should not be teaching this stuff to the kids. Kudos to Anthony Weiner for going on the podcast. He knew what he was walking into, but he's, adamant about being shameless and, still being a relevant name out here right now. So kudos to that. Petro Bay David, you did a great job of, taking care of making sure that he was able to express himself freely, to give him at least a platform to talk about what he feels, and for not, going in on him on all that stuff, because I can see in all their faces, that they definitely did not enjoy having him in the room. But I guess that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys made it to here, go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys learned something today, and hopefully what's his name, Gavin Newsom, doesn't run for fucking president. All right.